Lutner's neighborhood, right off of Cinco Ranch. I remember him saying something about Cinco Ranch and all that. He had me tricked, boy. Okay? I can't believe I didn't take this money. Well, you know what it was? He was saying, I think he was going to send me 50,000. Well, he was rubbing it in my face. Anyway, I said, 50,000 ain't that much. I am already making 10,000 a month, back in 2012 or 2013. But I didn't even know this is what Jeremy's house looked like. I'd only seen where his dad sits in the living room over here, and then the kitchen, and then Jeremy's bedroom and all that. And that's all their house is, and they have 15 million. They didn't spend their money very smartly, and it's going to come across like that. They owe money to me for this. Well, it's a law. It's called mental anguish. How he shoved the money in my face. He didn't give me any of it, and it was all, I was teaching him education and all that. And he did it for the purpose of causing psychological suffering. And I think the lawyers had already realized that from the get-go, and that's what the 50,000 was for. But unfortunately, at the time, I wasn't in the position to take the 50,000, as I had not even started to suffer from the psychological damages that he imposed on me. It wasn't until maybe a year or two after, or it wasn't until after that the psychological damages had started to hit. Which under law is illegal, and he'll owe money under law. Mental anguish in the law is being described as an extreme feeling of fear and grief that causes lasting negative side effects. I'm fearful of Jeremy. How come I didn't know? How come I'm getting hit by this? I'm scared. What are they going to do with their 15 million to kill me, to hurt me, to do this against me, and all that? And what about the grief it caused when he would shove the numbers in my face, and he was hidden inside this multi-million-dollar mansion, and he was pretending to be something other and all that. He had me care about his family and attend things like that and all that. And then he said he made a promise that there was ambitious talks that he was going to be sending me money and everything like that, and he never did. Conditions such as anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, all three that I experienced since I've met Jeremy, are examples of the kind of mental states that can qualify as mental anguish. Usually, even I have to deal with mental anguish, and I'm not a multi-millionaire like Jeremy is. So I know I will win with Jeremy, because even with $100, I have to watch who I meet, who I'm hanging out with, or who I call my best friend or a friend for any amount of time. Even 1 hour, 30 minutes, even somebody that you let in your vehicle and all that, and other common law things, or even friends or tutors, people that he owed money for the teachings and everything too, for me teaching him about Canada, about our politics. I was also his friend. He was paying me to be his friend, and then he never paid me at the end to be his friend. It doesn't matter if he agreed to pay to be as my friend. The fact that the last time I talked to Jeremy, he said, look at my Wells Fargo account and all that, and he's got 15 million. So you're thinking, okay, I have a friend with 15 million. And he was just laughing at me and doing all these Canadian jokes on me and things to hurt me in my mental state and my body and all that. And for the rest of my life was his intention. And then after that, he blocked me, so I can't get. So what his intention was to purposely depress, purposely to cause grief for the rest of my life, and other psychosomatic physical symptoms, which I've been able to cope with, but I do suffer from this, as I'm not a multimillionaire like Jeremy is, with the 15 million that he goes on Skype and he rubs into people's faces and causes murders. Well, how does he cause murders? because he's calling down to areas that are not very wealthy like his is, and it causes people to go crazy. And there was murders in Canada because of him, because he was flashing the millions, which is illegal under law. It might have been funny at the time, but when he finally has to settle, it won't be so funny. And that's the purpose of the settlement. So I want to call upon any lawyers in the Texas area. We have the address. We know the family, Jeremy Lutner. We know everything. Okay, we got a perfect case. We got a lot of video. We got more than enough video evidence. We got more than enough collaborating testimony from both myself as well as Jeremy, his parents, and other law enforcement that witnessed it. You even have testimony from people of the White House and all that. It's very unfair to do that to ones, to cause them that mental anguish that could ultimately lead in people's deaths, or the disorders and all that. Well, the government of Canada is paying $1,100 a month for this disorder, and we're asking for a larger settlement than just my regular disability amount that I had to start claiming, because I've suffered from mental anguish. So I have to ask my government to take care of me because I can't even breathe. I can't even think and all that because I only had 10,000. And this man with 15 million was doing red room, or he was hiring hitmen from the internet, from on dark web. They're using their money to hire hitmen on dark web. They're doing all that kind of stuff. They're one of the families that are paying for the rodents. So if you have rodents, this is the family that did it. They're going on the black market. They're meeting people. I was just a kid. I can't believe I fell for it. He was that good. They were that innocent come across when you look at pictures of them, until you go and look at the size of their house, and then you hear wiretaps of what Jeremy's been saying, and you hear wiretaps of what his dad and his mom were saying. We not only have to hear the words, but we can just hear the brain functions of Jeremy and all that to see they weren't big talkers. They were much like this here, and they hit people. But I'm here to testify that I want a settlement, that I deserve a settlement for this anguish. And it was more than anguish. It was also something to do with hits. His dad, I think, and his mom are into the hit business, believe it or not. And they're very, very good at it, but not good enough. Because I was one of the ones that I'm able to show you. And that's why Jeremy, since he's privatized his YouTube his Facebook, which he has the right to do, But if you're a Jeremy's friend, and I'm not sure, some of Jeremy's friends don't know about Jeremy's wealth because he never opened the accounts up and shoved it in their faces on purpose, because he thought Canada was so far from Texas that under the law he would not be held he would not be held up against the law. But unfortunately, Jeremy, as we will come to see, you will be held against the law of the United States as well as Canada and NORAD and NATO. There is some differences, but with the internet, it would go under Texas law as well as Ontario law. Me being in Ontario at the time, him being in Texas at the time. So in Texas and Ontario, mental anguish can be something that could be brought to the Fifth Circuit courts, and with jury instructions and all that. Of course, it would be a full-out trial to gain quite possibly a settlement for these damages that were put forth by the Lutner family.